So after seeing pictures like this and like this, I was trying to figure out how to make those shots, and I came across the Wellmaking Optical Snoot, and I decided to buy it. All right, so this is the Wellmaking Optical Snoot. Honestly, when I was looking up optical snoots, I went down a rabbit hole, and this is a steal for the price. It's $168. It came up to $180 after taxes. And honestly, I was seeing them for $400, and I was seeing some for even $600. So this price was perfect for me. I was not trying to spend more than like $200-300 on this. Other than this little part right here on the GOBO, that's plastic. The whole unit itself is metal, and it's like aluminum metal, so it's very lightweight. Watching tons and tons of reviews, I wasn't trying to get any of the ones that they had rubber on there because everybody was saying that these units do get hot. I just hooked it up to one of my flashes. So right here is the part that got hot for me. Right here was cool to the touch. Also, I don't know if they updated this one or what, but everybody else's was saying that they had theirs where they could remove the lens. So I actually brought some of my EF mount lenses to put on here, and I was going to include that on the video, but unfortunately for me, I can't do that because it don't seem like there's a way for me to remove this lens. I mean, I could unscrew all of these screws right here, but I'm not going to do that because I don't have no warranty on here, and I think it voids the warranty if you remove this anyway. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Bowens mount, I use everything Bowens because it's easy and like universal. So all my lights in here are Bowens. Even my Godox 8200 Pro, I got the S1, I believe it's called, bracket for it, so that way anything that I have that's Bowens can also fit it. That's what I like about this unit that I got. They did give you choices of different mounts to get on there. So I'm gonna suggest that if you're just starting out, always go Bowens mount when you first start out because Bowens is widely accepted, and most of the things that's Bowens is usually on the more budget versus like some of those other mounts that they got. And for this unit, as you can see, these are the other mounts that they do have. First is Bowens, then it's Pro Color, then it's Brown Color, then it's Ellen Chrome. All right, as I said, I'm gonna show you guys it on different lights and constant lights. And as well, I'm gonna show you guys what the GOBOs look like when the unit is on. So this right here is a Godox SL1, and the unit works perfectly fine. It has enough clearance in it. Right here, you can actually put your fist in it, and it has enough clamps for right here when you put it onto the SL1. This is the Godox SL150 right here, and as you can see, it works on it without a problem. And any LED lights that you have that also is bone mount will fit it perfectly fine. Honestly, this is the only light that I suggest maybe look in and do your research before getting it for it, and this is the Godox SL300. And the reason why is even though it has clearance for it and you can lock it in, as you can see, I locked it in, but unfortunately what somebody was saying, I don't know how true it is, but somebody left a review saying that because the GOBO is right here and the light stops about right here, and it has a bulb on it, the bulb, they said, got hot and melted the GOBO on there. I'm not sure how true that is, but somebody did say it, so I just had to tell you. If y'all got the Godox MS300, maybe stay away from this, unless you got the MS300V that has a LED on it instead of a bulb. So without further ado, let's look at light patterns. All right, so this is what the light looks like without the GOBO in it. So I have the GOBO here with me, and it looks pretty good when you have it like this. But when you go down in the aperture so you can make the ring smaller, you can start seeing the aperture rings. So right now it's thrown out of focus. That's why it looks like that and you can't really see it. But once you throw it in focus, you can see the aperture blades very clearly. That's another thing that I don't like about this unit. Once it's clear, you can see the aperture ring too clearly. All right, so you see that little piece of dirt right there. I guess I didn't clean the GOBO. All right, so the dirt just moved, but as you can see that little piece of dirt right there, that means probably I didn't clean the GOBO. So let's see. So if that's the case, once I take this out, you should see a piece of dirt on the GOBO, which I do. It's a very tiny piece of dirt right here. Probably you can't get it on the camera, but that shows you that you got to make sure these are extremely clean when you're doing photo shoots with them. Another thing I don't like about this is I only was able to take this out and put it back in twice, and already you can see the scratch marks on the GOBO. So I'm scared that if I use it consistently, then I have a lot of scratches on these GOBOs, and I'm not sure how that's going to affect the picture. Since a little piece of dirt can cause all that damage, then I'm scared what scratches will do to it. So this is an optical snoot, and this is just a regular snoot. The difference is, as you can see clearly through this one, and the optical snoot has a lens. Um, the lens gives you a better ability to shape light. So with this one, you can shape the light however you want to, whereas with this one, it just funnels the light through it, so it comes out smaller. Both of the ones that I have use Boeing mount. The only difference is this one right here doesn't have a lens, and this one does. This one accepts GOBOs, and this one does not. This one is far superior. That's why this one is $169, and that's why this one is only $18. They both have a time and place. I use this one for when I'm just trying to make a smaller circle, and I use this one for when I'm trying to make more creative shapes. So even though I cleaned it up, I can still see the dirt on there, unfortunately, so that dirt is there to stay. Luckily, I don't think I ever will be shooting this sharp. I'll probably be shooting more out of focus like this. Another thing that's concerning me is how far away I got the unit from the backdrop, and it's still showing so tiny, so that means I'm gonna have to move it all the way across the room. I had to move it all the way back here in order to get it to look like that. But look how far I had to move back, which is a problem for me because I have a tinier space, so having to run back here to set it up and fix it every second is gonna be time consuming. The ones with the removable lens gives you option where you can put a wide lens on there and move it closer, so that way you don't have to have it all the way back here. But let's get back to looking at these GOBOs. All right, so my final thoughts on this optical snoot is it's good for if you're a beginner or if you just want to mess around with it. I would suggest that you get one that has a removable lens, and that way you could buy a 50mm, and they usually use the EF 50mm, which is pretty cheap nowadays, so that way you can get it to be wider, especially if you have like a smaller space like I do. Also, if you can avoid using the colors, I would personally, only because of that review like I said earlier that somebody left, and I'm not sure if it will melt any of the other GOBOs, and I don't want to take that chance on messing up my unit. I also forgot to mention that the SL1 by Godox can be used with any flash, even the round head one that they got, or any square splash that you normally would have, and this will allow you to be able to use that unit with any flash that you have. I'll be using this unit, as you can see, for like fake and window light, but also I have a couple shoots that I want to do off of it, just creative shoots. Like I said, I'm keeping mines, and if I had the funds to upgrade, I would have to maybe one that has like the removable lens, because that is a game changer in my opinion. If I had one with a changeable lens, I'd be able to put it way closer, like half of the space that I'm using right now.